You know how some roads they just feel wrong, not dangerous, not obviously haunted or anything, but they just don't feel comfortable. The kind of road where your radio don't seem to be working properly, your headlights seem to be much dimmer, and you just have this sudden urge to just drive quickly out of there. Today's story takes place on one such road, Jalan Turi. Jalan meaning road, Turi is its name. So, Jalan Turi, Turi Road. This is not a story that you can easily find online because there is no official records, there's no newspaper clippings or police report. This is one of those stories that had survived the old ways through word of mouth, where drivers talk among drivers, it becomes a topic at late night conversation, and from warnings that usually starts like, isn't that Jalan Turi? Eh, are you going through Jalan Turi? And it involves a bride that never finished her journey and never stopped waiting. Hey you guys, and welcome to the GMC channel where I bring you the ghost, the mystery, the crime. I am Esther Vincent, also known as Leah Mia on social media. Thank you so much for clicking onto this video. I hope you guys stick around till the end, and if you do, don't forget to leave me a like, a comment, maybe share the video with others if you are into these kind of stories. Don't forget to subscribe, encourage me to make more and help the channel grow. And for today, without further ado, let's get into the story. Jalan Turi or Turi Road. It isn't a famous road or anything. It's not anything special or different during the daytime, but at night, that's when things change. Street lights feel dim, tall trees leaning inwards as if though they're listening to you, and long stretches of road that feels like you're completely alone on them. Locals will tell you after midnight that road would seem much longer than it actually is. Taxi driver would avoid that road if they can, and Grab drivers, they don't tell you, but they would cancel a ride if it requires them to go through Jalan Turi. Most encounters happens the same way. A lone driver late into the night, usually anywhere between 12 a.m. to 3 a.m. because, well, of course it is. The crazy hours of the day, the witching hour. You'll be driving half tired, half zoning out, but that's when you'll see her standing by the roadside. A woman dressed in all white, but this time it's not torn, it's not dirty, she does not look dramatic. She'll look composed and clean. Sometimes she's even described to be wearing a full-on white traditional wedding dress. Other times in a long white gown that just flows in the air a little too neatly. Her hair always tidy, her face always calm, and that's what throws many people off. Misleads them because if you saw someone standing all creepy and ghostly at 2 a.m., that's no way you're gonna stop. You're gonna floor your gas pedal and ride out of there. But she doesn't look scary. She looks normal, like a human being just waiting at the side of the road. She would raise her hands just once, not waving, not desperate, and people would just stop. Which, I'm sorry, but this is where I judge a little, right? Because it's Jalan Turi and it's 2 a.m. in the morning and you see a woman wearing all white traditional wedding dress, and the first thought in your mind is like, yep, she's safe. Like, really? Really, you guys? I would be out of there, whether it's a human or anything else. I'm not stopping for anyone. I cannot risk it. I'll be out of there. But in this case, maybe is it just her enchantment? You know, she just hypnotized people so that they stop. Who knows, right? Maybe. Anyways, you as the driver, you would come to a stop and you roll down your window and she would speak softly and very politely saying, "Can you help me? My house is nearby. It won't take very long." Like Disney princess voice, Cinderella and Snow White, they all had that sweet voice. Not me. Nope. There will be no slurring, no weird voices, just very normal human like voice. And you all smitten will be like, "Yeah, sure, why not? Come in." And she would slowly get into your car, usually at the back seat. And the moment she gets in and closes the door, the atmosphere inside would slowly change. First, the temperature will drop, not freezing, but just enough changes for you to notice. And then comes your radio. It will start acting all strange, all static, volume going up and down on its own until you would have to turn it off. And then comes the silence. Yeah. So she doesn't talk too much. Even if you try to make conversation with her, she would answer politely but very briefly and short. There would be no smiles or movements from her, just sitting very straight and still. By then, you'll start to notice the small things around. Some notice that your car feels much heavier. Others, they realize something even worse because when they try to take a look at her through the rearview mirror, her reflection just does not line up properly. In some versions, she has no reflection at all. Like you cannot see her at all in the rearview mirror. No matter how much you adjust, you cannot see her, but she is still there sitting at the back. Crazy. Crazy, crazy. And then comes this detail that made a lot of people swear that they would never pick up strangers again. When they take a glance, try to see her, her feet would not be touching the floor of the car. I don't know how does that happen. Is she like sitting down and picking up her legs like that or what? I don't know. But yeah, some people they have glanced and seen her feet not touching the floor or there's just no feet. That's when panic would start to kick in, and while driving you'll try to take a look at the back at her face and she would be gone. You heard no door open or shut, no sound, but now just an empty seat left. Like she was just there a second ago and now nothing. Some say that the seatbelt would be still buckled in, and some have also said that they saw the cushion, the back seat cushion, still pressed down as if though someone had been sitting on it for a long time. A few drivers have claimed something even worse, that when she disappears, their car stops, comes to an abrupt stop right there in the middle of Jalan Turi in the dark. Isn't that creepy? Because would you have the courage, the strength to get out of your car and see what's wrong? Or would you just lock yourself in the car? It's middle of the night, the crazy hours. Like, ooh, I don't know. Gosh. So who is she, this woman appearing in white wedding dress? Why is she appearing there? Locals believe that she was once a bride-to-be decades ago. And on the night of her wedding, something went wrong. Some versions say that she is the spirit of a bride that got abandoned by her groom on her wedding night. Others claim that she was involved in a fatal accident on that road on the way to her wedding. These details, these version of stories, they don't matter as much because they all have the same ending. She died tragically wearing her traditional white wedding attire, and she never reached her destination. So she waits night after night, waiting for that one last ride. Poor thing, to die with so much dream and hope in your heart and just die there. I don't know. One story that I came across while I was sitting down and scripting about this Jalan Turi story involves a man who was heading home after his late night shift. He was very exhausted. He just wanted to get back home, take a shower, and sleep. While passing through a bend on Jalan Turi, he saw her, dressed in all white, looking clean and neat, standing under a flickering streetlight. Against his better judgment, he stopped. Like he himself didn't know why did he stop, because he was not planning to stop, but he stopped. So once he stopped and she was right beside him, he rolled down the window. She smiled and handed him a small little paper. In the paper was an address that she wanted to go. So he looked back at her, nodded, gave her the gesture to like get in. And so she did. She got in quietly at the back seat and he started to drive. As he drove, he started to feel increasingly uneasy. The air inside of his car started to get colder and colder until his fingers were starting to feel numb on the steering wheel. Because the atmosphere around was feeling a little creepy, he started making small talk with her, but there was no reply. That's when he decides to look at her through the rearview mirror. So when he adjusted it so that it reflected her, she was already staring back at him through that rearview mirror. Her face was not angry, not sad, nothing. Literal poker face staring back at him. His heart started pounding and he decided that he's gonna slow down and pull over and ask her to leave his car. He slowed down, pulled over, turned around and saw empty seat. While in shock, looking at the back seat with absolutely no one right now, one of his back doors started to boop, opened up slowly on its own. No way, Jose. That was it. He drove off from there without even trying to close that open door. He said he could hear something trailing behind his car for a few seconds, like fabric dragging across the road. He never took a Jalan Turi ever again. Not in the morning, not in the daylight, not at night, not in the midnight, like never ever again. He avoids it at all cost. Yeah, man, experience like that would literally make you not go to certain places, not do certain things, right? Ugh. Okay, here's the thing. For a very long time, Jalan Turi, Turi Road was mainly known for these kind of stories, like the late night encounters, supernatural things, strange sightings. But eventually, something very gruesome happened there that it changed everything. Something real, something violent. After that, when people mention about Jalan Turi, they are no longer talking about the ghostly bride anymore. Not because those stories have faded off or the stories are no longer interesting, the stories have disappeared. No, but because a very real crime took over that place. And because of that crime, these ghost stories, they have started to slowly fade into the background. Urban legends make places, make things feel scary, but sometimes the real horror has nothing got to do with ghosts. In my next video, I will be going back. I will be circling back to Jalan Turi, not to talk about these supernatural ghost stories anymore, but to talk about that horrible, gruesome crime that had taken place there. About what happened, who was involved, how did it take place, why did it happen? Yeah, that would be my next crime video. And so with that, you guys, we have come to the end of Jalan Turi's supernatural side of the stories. I hope you guys liked the video, enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to leave me the thumbs up. Leave a comment. If you have your own stories, let me know. I will love to read them. And if you have not done so, and you are into ghost mysteries and crimes, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, help the channel grow, encourage me to make more. And until the next video, stay safe out there, you guys. If you have time to spare, please click on my next videos that will be popping up, and I will see you again soon. Bye.